They're slow, they're noisy, and maybe even a little bit dorky looking. So why would anybody want to own a Honda Fit or a Toyota Yaris?
There's loads of reasons. If you live in a crowded city, parking and traffic jams are a nightmare for big cars, which is why subcompacts have become so desirable. And the price tag doesn't hurt either. Now, I don't agree with Luke's quip about these two cars being dorky. I mean, these two cars aren't Aston Martin Signets, but would you even buy one of those? Of course not. But you can buy one of these. And while the Fit and the Yaris aren't particularly cool, they've both received pretty significant visual upgrades this year for 2015. For the Fit, that means it gets a whole new model generation. And for the Yaris, well, it just gets a cosmetic refresh. In my eyes, the Yaris just looks better. It has an aggressive front fascia, good-looking LED daytime running lights, and those 16-inch alloys really set the whole car off.
Unfortunately, the Yaris isn't quite so attractive on the inside. For a while there, Toyota's marketing campaign for this thing included a slogan that said, "Yaris, it's a car." And regrettably, that's pretty much it. I mean, from a fit and finish perspective, there's really nothing wrong with the Yaris. Everything fits nicely. It's not going to offend you, but at the same time, you know, it just doesn't feel remarkable in any way, shape, or form. And that's something that Honda does really, really well, because you're never going to get away with calling any part of the Fit premium on the inside, but then again, they do just enough to keep it from feeling like downscale transportation.
As you can probably guess, the Toyota Yaris comes in a distant second place when it comes to cargo carrying capacity. In fact, Toyota doesn't even list a total cargo space. But take it from me, the Fit is better. Way better. It offers more than 50 cubic feet of storage, which is a ton for a subcompact of this size. And all of that is usable thanks to two special words: magic seats. Now, I don't know if you've heard of these before, but essentially the rear seats can fold both upwards and downwards in order to give you the most versatile cargo space available. Now, for all the upside in cargo space, the Fit does have some downsides when it comes to rear seat space. There's just not a lot of headroom back there. And while the Yaris offers more legroom, I take the enhanced legroom over a cramped, stiff neck.
So both of these cars are available with a manual transmission, and if you choose to stick with the Yaris, you get a 5-speed, or if you go with the Fit, you get a 6-speed, although we're driving the automatic models because, frankly, that's what everyone is going to choose. And specifically with the Yaris, that means you're getting a 4-speed automatic. Yeah, a 4-speed automatic. To be clear, there are several vehicles on the market right now with more than double the number of ratios that this car has. Does that really matter? I'm not quite sure yet. But if you go with the Fit, there are no gear ratios whatsoever, because for the third generation, Honda is switching to a CVT. Now, that's important because it should help it get an average of 36 miles per gallon according to the official ratings. I say it should because in real-world testing, we're finding that, in fact, it's a little bit lower. With the Fit, we're getting about 30 miles per gallon on average, and with the Yaris, we're getting 28. Now, in both cases, that is below the advertised ratings, but keep in mind that we're riding on winter tires, and also we're driving in the cold, and we're also driving in mixed traffic with a lot of heavy stop and go. Truth be told, neither the 4-speed automatic nor the CVT are going to lend any sort of driving engagement to either of these cars, but then again, you really can't judge them based on the same measuring stick that you would a sports car. After all, different tools for different tasks, right? Instead, it's all about maneuverability, and that's where these cars really start to shine. The Fit is definitely more fun to drive out of the two. It feels more responsive in traffic and while you're turning, but that's only part of the picture, because One of the things you really want to be able to do in a car this small is pull a tight U-turn. And at the base level, the Yaris actually has a smaller turning circle, although as soon as you get into the upper trim levels, like the car that I'm driving today, it comes with larger alloy wheels. And that means that the turning circle actually increases beyond what the Fit requires to pull a U-turn. Still, I find the Yaris is actually easier to see out of than the Fit, and that's a good thing because you're flying without any sort of modern parking aids. There's no backup camera, and while it's easy to park, the Fit is definitely better equipped, although I'll let Sammy tell you all about its features.
The Honda Fit comes with a rear view camera and offers heated leather seats. It also comes with a very unique feature that you've probably heard us raving about in the past, Lane Watch. What this is essentially is a camera that's stuck to the passenger side view mirror, which shows you what's going on in your blind spot here on the infotainment screen. And speaking of that infotainment screen, you can actually use your smartphone to power your infotainment system, including navigation. All of that means that the Honda Fit comes with far more features than the Yaris, which essentially comes with nothing. One more thing we should talk about, although it's not a feature, is safety. Both of these cars have been rated by the IIHS, and the Fit managed to get an acceptable rating when it comes to the small overlap test. Compare that to the Yaris's marginal rating, which is enough to prevent it from getting a top safety pick.
Okay, so the Fit is more fun to drive.
It's also more fuel efficient.
And it has more features.
And is more practical.
So I think it boils down to the fact that if you're in the market for a new subcompact car, there's absolutely no question it is the car you should buy.